It's See Something, Say Something. Candress and Cindy are two therapists aiming to demystify therapy and pull the curtain on the people who are conducting your session.
Surprise, surprise. Therapists are people too. Listening as we giggle, chat about culture, navigating life experiences, discussing the things we like, and mental health. Welcome to episode 2, guys. Wow, what a week of support. My goodness. We're going to call this the curious conceptualization of
Cindy and Candress.
Or maybe the curious case. That's cuter.
Curious case is cool. I like it. Curious girls.
Cases.
A little nitty.
To be honest, we're complex. Layers like onions.
There's a lot. Ooh, peel it back every time.
Might cry.
Probably will cry.
But nutrient.
Cried this week.
So, yeah, there's so many things that we kind of have to get out of the way. Some housekeeping, if you will.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the first thing I really wanted to do was just say thank y'all for all the support.
Yes.
I feel like, wow. I want to scream, but it was so nice. And I feel like we had so many encouraging messages and like so many new people in our circle and people who are uplifting us, encouraging us and want to keep speaking life and wanting to see us keep going and growing. Like, this is really awesome.
Shares all across the board.
Yeah.
And it's not just like one group or one population. Like, these are different demographics, backgrounds,
generations,
like different age groups, generation. Oh my gosh. Literally, my parents don't even listen to podcasts. They're sending it to their friends, the church folks, like everything.
I know,
like,
my mom has never, my stepdad, my mom, my dad, like my siblings, my little sisters, like commenting on YouTube.
Too.
Like I've never experienced this before. So it is really nice to just get support like that. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes.
And we're so excited to keep it going and bring y'all along with us. So
it's only going to go up from here.
Up and stuck.
So it only felt right to do a little cheers. So we do have an assortment of beverages off to my side.
She does.
And since it's Alcohol Awareness Month, I think it would be good for us to do a little mocktail sort of thing. Now, we are going to be doing this together because I've never put these things together.
Yeah, like we actually don't know how everything's going to pair.
It is going to be a little taste tester. So obviously we know the culture pop.
We love a good culture pop.
Obvi. Maybe a little pineapple juice.
Yes.
Then this is where it gets exciting. So we have a sea moss beverage. Now, I'm a sea moss girly.
She is.
Through and through, but this is new for me. Picked it up yesterday when I was at the store with Cindy. And so I think if we mix these and see what this does, and sea moss does help with like a lot of things. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but it helps and I feel it. Yes, I'm gleaming.
From the inside out.
From the inside out. Just feel the difference. Couldn't really note it to you.
We can Google
it. We're going to make a little bevy. And do a cheers.
Yay.
To See Something, Say Something, and all our supporters, because we're nothing without you guys.
Yeah, so our community. Thank you so much.
With the help.
A glug, a glug. The way I'm stretching my body.
Girl.
First, I want to taste the sea moss drink by itself.
Okay, me too.
Oh. Nothing there. We need to mix it up.
It wasn't bad.
And it wasn't good. Like, you would drink that by itself?
No, I really want it as a mixer for my smoothies.
Okay,
instead of using almond milk.
Oh, why did you do that?
Sometimes I like put coconut water or like aloe vera juice.
Okay. I can see that. It's a different texture. By itself, no. But with a mix, yes. Thank you. Oh my God, the stretch.
We're on vacation.
Where are we, guys? Tropicabana. Okay, I don't know if... I'm going to just give it a go because I need a little zing.
A little zing.
You know, I need a little zingy.
Oh, my. Baby. Okay, yeah, I do need a little carbonation.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, what a sound.
Now it's setting off, ma'ams. It's setting off.
Okay, I want to be set off.
It's setting off. And so, like, a good thing about these functional wellness drinks as well is, like, they really help with your mood. Some of them can have different types of minerals and vitamins that they put into them. Ooh. Like, I drank something earlier today by Kin Euphorics. And so I was like, let me just, like, look into it, like, what is in it? And it's a rosé-inspired fusion of sparkling strawberry.
Yes.
Sishendra, which I've never heard that before.
That's a lady.
It's a lady's name, but apparently it's a vine.
Okay.
And rosemary. So it's supposed to open my heart and balance my mind. And so yeah, I liked it. Has little. It also it's really working because I'm floating. It also has theanine in it. So that's supposed to help with, I did. So that's supposed to help with easing back to center. Damina ignites heart fire. Okay, I need that. I need a little something today. Yeah. And then the Sachendra is supposed to conjure clarity and vision.
Conjure. That's one of my favorite words. Conjure it up.
Conjure. So I'm here for them. And so it's kind of interesting, especially if you're kind of in your space right now where you're maybe feeling sober curious or wanting to explore that. I love these functional cocktails and like mocktails, I think, are really helpful, and just being able to like mood boost, relax you, calm you, bring you a sense of clarity.
And then realize, like, first off, you can decenter like alcohol from socializing. They don't have to be like exclusively together. And then also you can feel different moods and different things without like alcohol. Naturally.
Yeah.
It's in the earth.
It's all around you, and you can just bring it together in a little mixy mix. And I mean, I've really enjoyed just being able to like try new things in that type of way as well. And yeah, get a little boost from something else. Sometimes I don't want the hangover, and I don't want like the feeling in my gut like, oh, I just drank a lot. But sometimes I do want a little fun drink. And so that's kind of like when I started drinking the culture pops and things like that. That's been really helpful. But then just like, being able to explore that. I also love a juice. So like all of that together.
Love a juice.
Love a little nice
kombucha.
beverage.
I love it. I try to get the girls into it. Obviously, with the group at work, like mocktails, juices, natural things.
They've been getting into it.
Adaptogens, baby. The matcha, honey. You get a little boost. And then also ashwagandha, baby. I put that in my smoothies, honey. I be like,
gonna have you out like a light.
Out like a light.
Or just floating on a cloud. Depending on how you like to be.
Be like, I really couldn't give you a response. I'm just so zen right now.
Just so zen. But with that being said, cheers to us. Cheers to y'all. We didn't cheers ourselves. Oh my God.
Dink it and sink it. I got that from Good Mythical Morning. Hey guys, Rhett and Link.
A little chill and sip. A little sip and see.
Sip and see.
A little chugging.
No, I do like that. Sip and see.
Sip and see?
We're sipping, they're seeing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
sip
cute.
And see. For see something, say something.
And it'll be the letter C.
And that's going to be the name of our segment, guys. Thank you for joining in, giving us all of the different types of inspiration. And I'm here for it.
The functioning is functioning, baby.
The functioning is functioning. The functioning is happening. We're feeling it right now. And we're so excited to get into all of our topics for today. But specifically around like Alcohol Awareness Month, I am curious, Candress, like what was your like first like introduction, I guess, or experiences with alcohol, like in your family, maybe your relationships, friendships? I don't know. What did that look like for you? How were you introduced,
It's interesting because if I think about like growing up, I grew up in a very dry household. My parents stopped drinking when they were like planning to become parents. And so I've never seen my parents drink. Never. And so obviously there's like inherited beliefs that happen that way. So for me, I was like, oh no, I don't want to drink because I was like, I would aspire to be like my parents. So I didn't drink. And to be honest, I didn't really hang out with people who were drinking or people understood that I was not a drinker. So I never really felt pressured. So when I got to college, like I really did wait up till I was 21.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah. What an anomaly.
I was a different person then.
That was a whole experience.
And so even then when I drank, I was not like getting drunk. It was literally like one drink. That was enough for me. Very lightweight. And then I dated people who drank. My last relationship, he didn't drink. But I remember there was one, like I'll call it a situationship. And I realized like I never saw him sober. Never an interaction when he was sober. And it did not hit me until then. Like until now, to be honest. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
There might have been some issues.
Dependency. Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Wow.
So yes, but no, I didn't really drink crazy, and I really don't now. I don't really enjoy it. Obviously, there's been times where maybe I drank more than usual, and I didn't like the feeling, the gaps of time. I'll never forget. I went out and I woke up. And I was naked.
Like, what? Wait, stop it.
At home.
Wait,
Naked,
okay.
Don't know where my debit card was or anything. And I did not drink crazy. I'm just a lightweight. I probably had like 4 drinks instead of 2. And I couldn't tell you anything.
I thought you were about to tell me that you were like outside naked. I was about to scream.
I was in bed. And I mean, that checks in because I really do like to have my body on the mattress.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just kind of scares me to know that. And I was with people, you know, that obviously are able to hold their alcohol better. So it wasn't like I was by myself, but that just scares me to not know what I did the night before and not have any recollection. That scares me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a scary thing. I think it's been normalized, though. Like, blackout drunk. Like, let's turn up. That's
like a lot of where, like, the avoidance and self-medication comes from, too. Because it's like, I don't want to remember. I want to have lower inhibitions and not really remember any of the things that I did, so there's no shame or guilt attached to it. I want to be numb. Yeah. So yeah, that's really mine.
Interesting.
What was yours, Cindy?
I'm stuck on the numb part because I know a lot of people who trying to numb it away. Yeah, I mean, and then that's where the drinking came in, and then different habits that they created from there. But what was mine? I guess like being Nigerian, we have big ass parties. And so like I remember being around alcohol probably at the age of like 5. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like it's been around. I've always known what it was. I'm pretty sure like when I was little, I maybe had a sip or something like that just to like with my parents though. Like not like out and about like we're getting drunk like at 12, but I'm pretty sure I had something like that. But I don't actually want to talk about my first time getting drunk. That is actually something we'll never talk about. Oh, it's not today. It's only second episode. But
gotta give people something to wait.
Yeah, because that was really crazy. But like, I think so. Like, just kind of being Nigerian and being around it often, it was kind of normalized as like something to do, a way to engage. The men were always drinking Heineken. Like, that's just the vibe. Yeah, it's like it's gross, but it's like very party. You know what I mean? So then I think going into college, the accessibility of it for me was quite different. Going to a big university where we were all turning up and like you're kind of getting pressured into these, you're kind of getting pressured into these spaces. It kind of just became normalized. And so like, not to fit in, but maybe to even numb myself, honestly, especially in that beginning period. I was talking to you a little bit before about like what it looked like for me going to college. Like yes, I had a lot of friends. I had different groups and things, but in the beginning I surely didn't. And I was pretty depressed. And so like, once I kind of just got used to the partying, going out and stuff like that, I feel like I was just kind of numbing myself out with it more so rather than truly enjoying it. Like we would just drink because we're getting turned up because we're about to be at this Christmas party and like we're going to be up all night. Like, so we were just like up, you know? And eventually that was no longer fun for me. So like I kind of like turned away. Like now being in my later 20s, I found myself just kind of like, I don't really keep alcohol in the house like that. Same. I don't say no. I'm a social drinker and I can also hold my liquor, but at the same time, not really low key these days. Actually, that's a lie. I can no longer hold my liquor. I'm actually washed. Can't stay up. But I mean, it just depends on how I feel. And so, yeah, I guess that's kind of how it's looked like for me. I would say I'm trying to build a healthier relationship now. But when I was in college specifically, that was not like a healthy time. And I feel like I said and did things that I really didn't want to or like wouldn't have. And I don't even know if
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even know if I want to recall
the detail. But definitely, I just want folks to know there was things that I did not say no to because I didn't know how to say no.
Shoot, that's a whole other, like, there is a piece of that, I think, too, like, that kind of goes, I don't know how deep we want to get right now.
I know.
I'm, like, teetering on it. Do you know what I mean? Edge of our seat teetering. How deep do we want to get? But...
Right. We're about to get vulnerable.
I know. I'm like, I will say this. Like, there would be times that I would come home after a night of drinking, like, literally being like, I didn't want to drink. I feel awful. I really wish I didn't go out, but I didn't feel like I had a choice. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say no, especially when you're so vulnerable, especially when you want to be accepted, liked, included in things. I know that a lot of people who didn't drink would always be like, you're a bitch, like, you pussy, like, get up, like, you need to, like, take this shot, da-da. You know what I mean? And I will say on one end, maybe I've been that person. On the other end, maybe I felt that way as well. So, like, the normalization of alcohol is, like, something, especially when it's, like, literally destroying your kidneys. No offense, though. I love a beautiful cocktail. Like, I really do love a little fun cocktail, but I think also, like, moderation.
Yes, everything in moderation. That is
in
literally
harm reduction,
the golden
like,
rule.
We're trying to chill out a little bit. Like, I don't know. Like,
so what I'm realizing is, so never really in my friendships was I pressured to drink, and I appreciate that. And I kind of noticed that growing up, like, everybody knew my parents didn't drink. A lot of people know my parents don't cuss. So when, like, my parents came around, they respected that. And so they just didn't do that. Kind of feel bad. Something would, like, hide to, like, cuss or go into the other room to cuss.
Why was it that serious to cuss, though?
Because they really respected my parents. And so that kind of passed on to me, or there was just an assumption because, oh, well, this is Janice and Terrence's daughters. Yeah. We're not going to do that in front of Candress and Olivia. But I realized probably the most drinking I really happened was probably in my relationships. Like, because, like, my first boyfriend, he drank a lot, or we would go to bars, and so, like, he would drink, and I'd be like, oh, he's my boyfriend, I want him to like me, so I would drink with him. And then that situationship, like, literally, he drank, he'd be like, oh, get a sip, and I'd be like, ugh. So, like, a lot of it was in relationships, so I do appreciate that my last relationship, he did not drink, so there was not that aspect, and I think that's why there was a deeper connection, and our relationship had a stronger foundation, because there was not substances to, like, force that connection or, you know, create a connection. But, yeah, I'm realizing the socializing was a lot in romantic relationships, but never really from, like, my friends. But I did have a lot of friends that drank a lot, which, like, led to restraining orders. Ooh, well, I don't want to go there. We're not going to do it. No.
Excuse it. We're not going to push it. But, like, at the same time,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have those experiences. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, even in my, like, that got me by the tongue. But even when I think of, like, my dating history, I don't know. Like, drinking was always there, but I don't feel like I was, like, overly dependent on that either. Sometimes I would, no, that isn't what I depended on. So my experiences are different. My substances were different. But I think that, yeah, it's just kind of a lot.
And it's also interesting, though, because my sister and I are night and day. Like, she drinks more than me. She's not an alcoholic or anything, but she drinks, and she has, like, a relationship with alcohol that I really don't. Would you say your sibling?
No, my brother doesn't drink really at all. Like, he's definitely, that's not the spectrum he's on. And so, like, it's just not, like, I don't know. It's a thing, but it's not at the same time. And so when we get together, that's never a thing. Like, we're not, I'm probably trying to take a shot. Like, with me. Like, I'm probably the one trying to be like, hey, because, I mean, I did go to a party school, so I definitely have that gene.
Too.
Like, the gene is there. People know, like, they've seen me at different levels. And so, like, honestly, it's actually ridiculous. And so, like,
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I was always a turnt time. Like, I had fun, for sure. But at the same time, I remember one time.
Please share.
I know you wanted to know. I'm thinking about one specific instance. I was really young, and I was at a party, and I threw up all over the table. And that was probably, like, one of those times, like, projectile. And then the next day, I didn't remember. I got home, and I didn't
How did
even
you know?
I was told. Oh. It was one of those things. It was like, Cindy, do you know what happened last night? I surely don't. And I was queen of blackout, and that's scary. That's what I'm saying.
Queen of blackout?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I had a really weird experience, especially in college. Like, there was just a lot. I mean, it was so accessible for us. We were turning up so much, and it was so normalized. Y'all who went to Texas Tech, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's a problem. And so I had all of those experiences, and I think that's why now I'm kind of just a little bit more chiller when it comes to that. Like, I don't get blackout anymore. I don't ever want to experience that again. I don't want to be throwing up randomly in public. I don't don't want to
my
feel
gosh.
that type of way. Like, it's not something I'm interested in. And I don't want to feel pressured to do it. And I don't want to do it because I see everybody else doing it. So I'm trying to keep up. I think that was a lot of it, me trying to keep up. And knowing that, like, I didn't know my capacity. I wasn't in my body enough to really understand, like, what were the limits.
Yes.
And I think that's very important, right? To know your limits, to know what you can handle, to know what you can't handle, and to know yourself. Not be comparing and not
trying to keep up with all these other folks who are built a different way and have a different
exactly. Like, it became like a game, you know, essentially. Like, who can drink more, who can do more, who can embarrass themselves at the end of the day more.
To remember, baby.
Honestly, I wish I remembered, because then
you were like, I gotta stop.
Yeah, like, I'm
embarrassed.
I had no idea. I woke up the next day like, hey everybody, good morning. Right, like, rise and shine. Like, I was up. Like, why should I be? You know, like, nothing ever happened. So, like, you can't. It almost is like, can you be accountable for something you don't remember? You know what I mean?
I think that's really the big connection.
Mm-hmm.
You get to dodge the accountability, the responsibility, because it's like, I don't remember, so I can't really speak on that.
Can't remember. Don't even know who that was. Who is she? But that's the thing when it comes, like, are we teetering now on alcoholism? Because that's a big part of it. Like,
and you're kind of depending on that.
You're depending on it. You're depending on this alter ego. You're numbing your emotions.
Girl.
You're not connected to your body. I'm not here to shame people who drink, period, at all.
No.
But this is just like
drink
when it becomes, drink responsibly and also recognize the excess. So.
Yeah. And actually recognize, like, the root as to why you're drinking. Why are you drinking? What does that fulfill for you? Like, what is the need that is being met when you drink? And I saw on TikTok, wow, I really am the TikTok therapist.
She's a TikTok
This lady speak about how the Lord told her to kind of stop smoking weed. This has nothing to do with alcohol, but I mean, there's a connection, so stick with me. And she was saying, like, if you went to the doctor and, like, your arm was hurting and all he did was keep on numbing you instead of, like, actually healing what was wrong, like the ailment of your arm, like, that's an issue. So, like, drinking or using substances to numb, you're not really healing or getting to the root of the issue. You're just numbing and numbing and numbing, and the issue is still there. It could get worse, you know, and it could be detrimental. Yeah, you're putting a Band-Aid on something that literally needs surgery. So just be responsible and be aware, reflect on alcohol. Wow, there's so many directions we could go, but it's only episode 2.
Only episode 2, man.
We have to build rapport. And that's kind of like how therapy is, too. We can't just jump right into things that we know are, like, on the issues. Like, when we have an intake, right, we gather all this information, we're organizing it when we're conceptualizing, which is what conceptualization means. Like, you're just organizing all that information and, like, kind of prioritizing what we should use to, like, kind of, like, guide towards, like, the skills you want to implement, the topics or concepts you want to implement during session, treatment plans you want to build. So, but
it's pretty much being able to, like, put someone into, like, you know, this is who this person is.
Neat and tidy.
Like, you're explaining who this person is, you know, their background history, you know, who they are.
History.
The triggers as well, like the things that they experience.
History with therapy, right? What worked, what didn't. Hospitalizations. Are there things that maybe might be outside of your scope? Like, oh, can I work with this client? Or do they need a higher level of care? Do they need a different therapist? But we could know all these things going in, right? But we're not going to just jump into, like, okay, so tell me about your deepest, darkest time. Like, you have to build rapport. So we're building rapport with you guys. So be patient.
Be patient and cheers.
People too. Cheers again, please.
And cheers. Cheers to Alcohol Awareness Month and just being able to, like, put some information out there and help educate. And also getting more into our conceptualization of ourselves. And with that being said, Candress.
Uh-oh.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your background? Where are you from? Who are you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, my name is Candress, like a can and a dress. And
I love that introduction of you.
I was born to Terrence and Janice. I'm not going to say their last name. And I have an older sister, Olivia. Hey, girl. And, just really tight-knit family, us four. I was born in Kansas City, Kansas, but grew up...
I didn't know that.
Girl, the sunflower seeds. That's why I really like The Wizard of Oz. I really identified
with
Dorothy.
What is that? I was going to say, what's the connection?
Take home. And I really wanted a dog because Toto, but anyways.
Oh, wow. What a storyline. I didn't even realize that.
But we moved. And And so we grew up in Illinois. I just say Chicago because, big city, easier. But really, I grew up in Naperville.
Oh,
Anybody?
okay.
Shout
Okay.
out. A really good neighborhood.
She's repping.
I grew up in a lot of suburbs, but Naperville, I would say majority. And just had a really caring family, evolved in the church. A lot of my friendships stem from there. Had a pretty tight-knit friendship group. I would say like middle school and on, really great relationships. Always issues with like body image, like having trainers growing up. Yes, eating plans, nutritionists. And I was an athlete. I played soccer, tennis, swimming, golf. Like my sister and I were active, and I do appreciate that. That's where like the education exposure came through. Like every summer we had to have at least like one thing that we were doing. We had to get up at a reasonable time, and we were not just rotting away. Like there was always structure, which I appreciate that. And then that's where the exposure came in because I was exposed to so many different things. I was in Girl Scouts, like I said, golfing, volunteering, church. And so I could kind of figure out what was it that I wanted to do or I was passionate about. And I think that's kind of where like my servant's heart came from. And I always have been drawn to like, I've always been drawn to person how to fish instead of giving them fish, like giving them those tools so that they can basically be self-sufficient and supply themselves for the rest of their lives instead of like being dependent on me. But that's another thing. But just like I wanted to be a chef, and so my parents always knew people. They were really well connected in the community, so like they knew people who worked at Papa Do's. So like they let me and my troop, my Girl Scout troop, go behind the scenes, meet the chef, see what it took, like to prep and everything. And then I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. I don't want to do it. They like got me an apron and like a little hat that said Chef Candress. Like they supported every dream I had. I wanted to go into advertising. My dad knew somebody from the church who was at advertising. He worked at an advertising agency, so then like I had an internship there, and then like learned how to collect information and do interviews, and then make a portfolio.
Dang, what the heck?
Like just very privileged, very supportive, and so the transition to college was rough because I was like, wow, I've been, and I wouldn't even say sheltered. I don't want to say that because I was not sheltered. I was exposed to things, but I just feel.
Do you think it's like sheltered in a different way though? Like,
yeah, I don't know what to call it though. I don't know what to call it. Protected? Like my parents were very intentional. Maybe like censored? I don't know.
I feel like
they were
intentional. Is a good word.
It's kind of like how there's like those parent safety things on TV. It's like you can see stuff, but it's like certain stuff like. I wasn't exposed to certain things. And then since we lived in Chicago and both my parents are from Texas, I did not really grow up with my extended family. It was just me, my sister, and my mom and dad. And then Cody, rest in peace, our dog.
Doggy love.
Wow. So I don't know, just really close-knit relationships. Exposed to a lot of death early. Like there was like a lot of suicide growing up. And then one of my close friends died tragically when he was like 23. Just like a lot of death of close people. I don't know. I'm sure.
What? What was that?
I was gonna say
what was that?
Something, but yeah.
Okay, so you're not gonna say it?
Start dating till I was 20, late bloomer. And that was like a big part.
We're late bloomers though, for real.
We are late bloomers, and I kind of appreciate it because then I felt like I had a lot of time with myself. Didn't really choose the best relationships, whoopsie, but I was able to stay strong and secure because I feel like if I dealt with that when I was like in high school, wow. But that was like a big thing.
Been something completely
all my
different.
friends were dating in high school. And I was not. I didn't kiss somebody till I was 20.
Did you feel like isolated by that?
Yeah, I used to be sad about it. I really was. And then like sophomore year of college, I really leaned into it. And I was like really into church. I got a separate dorm. So I wasn't hanging out with any of my friends that I met freshman year. They would like knock on my door, but I was really isolated and getting connected to God. And I like had a conversation with him distinctly. And I was like, sway me from the path because I'd like consumed by the world. And that's exactly what happened.
And
that's where we're going to end. Cindy, let's talk about you.
Oh my goodness. Well, the sway. Sometimes we can't control it. The waves.
I mean, I learned a lot.
Ebbs and flows of life, and we're still learning. And I think that's the beauty of it. Wow. Okay. I love your story. I love hearing about your background.
Bits and pieces.
Little bits and bobs, and there'll be lots more that we share along the way.
Gaps as time goes.
Yeah, I think so, because I didn't know you were born in Kansas City. Like, what was that? I said, what was that little information? Always some surprises, okay? So about me, you didn't even tell them how old we are. I'm 29. Candress is 30.
I'm 30.
And we're going to keep aging along this. We're not going to make it just about age, but yeah, that's a part of it. I was born in Toronto, Canada. I left when I was like 2, but I still be claiming it. I sure do.
OVO.
Because get on
Drake.
to work.
Shout out to Drake.
Okay. They don't even like him there.
Oh, never mind.
I know, right? Sorry, Drake. Anywho, so I was born in Canada. Came to Dallas, Texas when I was around 2 years old. Became a citizen at 17. You do the math. She's legal. So there's a lot of trauma in my story. I think just like lots of things that I just didn't know growing up. A lot of gaps that I kind of had to fill in with age. But I also appreciate that because I really do feel like, okay, I feel like a lotus flower. Like, I feel like I'm literally getting it out of the mud all the time. So me and Candress are different in our aspects of, like, how we grew up. But I will say I have been supported, by my family and also chosen family. I came from Precious and FA. Love you guys. My parents got divorced when I was, like, 12 going to 13. So it was a very pivotal age. So there's a lot of things happening. I think like from that age, I just started experiencing a lot of rage, and it informed.
I had a rage era too.
Yeah, she was a ragey. She was a rage girl. Like it probably didn't really pop off until I was like 16, but that was the vibe. I was just angry. I had a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment. But I was always really like interested in things and curious. And so I had a lot of activities that I was a part of, and I'm grateful for that. Like the first activity I was a part of was probably in the 5th or 6th grade. I did basketball. Yeah, she's a basketball girly. She hoops. And so I loved that experience and getting to like build a community. And I did it through like a church. So it was called Upward. So I did that. And that was kind of like my first, I guess, toe dip into like community building. But at the same time, I did theater when I was in elementary school. I did it through high school and then even to beginning of college. And so she's a theater girly. Like that's where the theatrics come from. And like, just like,
I was too.
I think my perspective as well. Like, so I don't know, a little kooky. So I did that. She's a kooky girl.
Quaint.
So a little quaint, a little quirky. I did a lot of that growing up, as well as like a lot of arts and then also sports. So just like Candress, like I did do soccer for a stint. Basketball was my girl. And then I also ran track. I was horrible. And then I also did cross country because I could run for a long time, but I'm not going to run am like specific. And so that's a very big part. Like, why'd you look at me?
Because that's interesting. Could you dig a little deeper, delve in a little further?
I don't really like, I think my only competition is myself because of like where I'm coming from, my background, my life, my family, my friends. Like I used to deal with a lot of comparison issues. I think growing up, just based on like my culture, there's a huge thing where they compare you to everybody's kid, like pretty much. And it's something I experienced from a really young age. And so from there, I think it started to affect my self-esteem. Like more manageable. Thank you, therapist. But growing up, I didn't have those resources. And so like I would get into my head a lot, compare myself to a lot of different types of people because I always kind of thought like, maybe if I was prettier, maybe the guys would talk to me. Maybe if I was thinner, I could actually go and put myself out there for like maybe the modeling or the acting or the things I really like was excited about. I also dealt with a lot of like body image like you, except mine was not just my body, but also like, I guess it was body, but also like skin. I struggled with a lot of skin issues, and that started piping up in middle school era. And so like, that was just middle school, third in the dumpster, bro.
Middle
that
school
was
so hard. Even elementary.
I enjoyed my elementary experience. I did not enjoy my middle school experience.
I was bullied, yeah.
Yeah, it was giving bullied vibes, like in and out.
Mean.
I was probably more bullied at the end of elementary school. Going into middle school was just weird. And then high school, I tried to kind of like revamp myself. I was like, okay, I'm starting over. Like, she wants to be different. And so first year who is she? Y'all won't know until you know. So the first year I was in basketball, and then I went into dance. So I tried out for the dance team, and things just kind of like switched up. And so once I got on the dance team, there's a little bit of popularity that comes with that, but also just like, I think I was able to like move my body differently. So a lot of that rage that I experienced, I think that was like, yes, I was fully releasing through the hips, like all of that, like leaping. From like a lot of the trauma that I was experiencing, and some of the stuff I just couldn't talk to my parents about because they were dealing with their own things. And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of that kind of was happening. And then along the way, I became an older sister of like 4. And so, actually 5. I'm the older sister of 5. And so I'm the oldest in my family. And it truly feels like it. I definitely deal with like oldest sibling syndrome and like all of the weight that comes with that. So I'm pretty hard on myself.
You are hard on yourself.
Okay, I am hard on myself. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit better, like trying to take ownership of that and also like release expectations. So I've dealt with that, and trying to think. These are all different parts. What else?
I think we should talk about how we worked at an early age.
Oh my God, I just skipped a whole part. This is what trauma does to you.
This is what like it impacts our work ethic in a positive way, but also like.
No, I actually just skipped an entire part of my.
I did too. When I started hearing you talk and how organized it was, I was like,
it doesn't feel organized. I feel like I blooped. I don't even know where my brain went, but like, I'm just speaking. And so like, I'm just realizing like, yes, there's a big chunk. I grew up in a beauty supply, pretty much, like not living there, but like,
she grew up on the shelf, baby.
I'm pretty sure I slept there a few times. Like I was the do-girl. I was the do-girl.
The sulfur 8, baby.
I was the sulfur 8.
Aisle 7.
I was the Milky Way. I saw the Milky Way. I created it. Like literally, that is a really interesting part of my childhood. Like my mom owned a beauty supply for about 10 years. And so that was kind of like my first introduction into like the beauty industry. And then I think also connecting with people. To be honest, the clients, the people, the customers who came into the store were probably my very first clients at the ripe age of 10. Like I was talking to people, seeing what they needed. Okay, how do you want to feel? The skills were developed early. Oh my God. I'd try to help these ladies find wigs, and I'd be like, okay, so what's the look? How you want to feel? You look good, girl. Like my affirmation,
and that is so
encouragement. You know it's me. So like all of that was building really early. And I think that was fun for a while until it wasn't. Until I wanted to kind of like go hang out with friends.
Be a real kid.
Yeah, I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to hang out with friends. I wanted to develop my interests. And so I kind of struggled with a lot of that. And it wasn't until I got to college to where I really got a chance to kind of bloom and explore things on my own terms. High school helped me out with that too, but it was a lot of academics. But college was like when I was like, who is Cindy? And like, when are you going to stop, doing things for everyone else except for yourself? So I'm in that phase right now where it's like, maybe I'm coming off as selfish. Maybe I'm coming off as like, why hasn't she texted back? Where is she? I'm kind of just trying to get my shit together and finally live for me for once.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's kind of a little bit about me and like where I'm at finally. And it's definitely a journey.
I do want to talk about my work experience.
Please talk about your work experience because
my sister and I were paper girls.
So cute though.
In 1999.
Oh my God.
Or 2000. So you do the math. I was born in 1993. She was born in 1991. And we were paper girls for the Bartlett Examiner. We created a whole process how to efficiently deliver the newspaper.
Oh, not y'all coming up with systems.
And have a way to sign up for the newspaper and just a whole system. And so then that's how we got introduced to money, because my parents were like, well, you're going to open up your own bank account. And so I'm grateful for that, because they taught us financial literacy at a very early age.
Yeah, I'm still learning that now.
And I was
Trauma.
like, I used to like check my mom's like checkbook. What is it called? Balance her checkbook, like
Girl,
during
what type of
church service. And so I appreciate that because it's like now I can really go to jobs based off passion. That's why you're always like talking about money. But for me, it's like I'm very good at like living my life and then some with the money that I have and really good about saving. So it's like I can really focus on like, because money doesn't buy happiness now. It does help, but it's not everything. And a lot of the environments that I'm like drawn to, they do not pay like that. This is probably the most high paying job that I have. And I'm grateful, abundant. Yes.
Opulence.
But like growing up, like I was taking very low paying jobs. My parents did not appreciate it, but I was very focused on the population and the experience, and I'm grateful. And then I was able to like go on vacations, baby. It wasn't like I was doing the thing with the little coin tatas that I had.
I'm very money motivated with certain things. Though.
I know you are.
And it's because I have to be. Like, I literally have to be. I didn't grow up with it. And also, like, I'm the oldest. And so, like, my experience with money is quite different. We didn't have it. And so, like, there are so many times when I had to deal with what it looked like to not have enough to pay for X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? And I didn't have a way to get it, especially when you're not working as a kid. And kind of having to go without and not really getting the opportunity to even learn about that. And I think after the divorce, you know what I mean? Things were so separate. So there was really no one to turn to talk about the money stuff. I got my first job, like actual job outside of working for my mom. I think I started working at like 17 at Brahms, you know what I mean? So that was my first time like trying to like get money on my own. And then from there, I just had a lot of serious jobs after that, you know?
Yeah.
It just kind of is what I had to do. And so for me, money's important, not as in it's everything, but it's a tool because it's helping me level up and also trying to take care of the people that I can and also doing different because I wasn't able to receive that. So I'm trying to like gain that. And then also money's for me power right now because it's like I'm trying to get to the next level. It's power. And I think it's like,
I'm not mad at it, baby. I'll take it.
you know what I mean? Like it's
Nothing
nothing wrong with like having a sense of like ownership, power, efficacy with how you want to use your
And
funds.
a little bit of value.
And value and growth.
This is what I'm worth, baby.
I love coins. So
Coins.
I'm trying to see that bag, babes, every single time. But I'm not a bag chaser, okay? Like I also understand that like being open and doing the work, it's gonna attract. But also like sometimes it's not about just the work. It's about who you know and like the places that you get into, the things that you do, the skills that you pour into. And so yeah, I'm very excited because I know it's gonna flow even more.
It's going to flow.